Mallam Wali, to whom we gather here today for this lecture. May Allah make it beneficial to all of us. May it be, I will pray that those of us that come from far, may they go back to their destinations at the end.
Thank you very much for a very precise and direct prayers from our father, Professor N.M. Denzima. Thank you very much, sir. We're now going to quickly introduction of the guest on the high table. Here with us, very importantly, is the chairman of today's occasion, University Zaria, calling a silent achiever. Some of us call him the negotiator by excellence. Some of us call him a speaker that is distinct in character and approach. But we in Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences, we call him Pharmacist Professor Cognosis, Pharmaceutical Chemist, Pharmacologist. If I don't call Professor Mo's department close to you, I will be sanctioned immediately. Clinical Pharmacist, Professor Ahmadu, Vice Chancellor, Ahmadu Bello University. Students, please let's rise on our feet. Please let's rise on our feet. Please let's keep clapping. Let's keep clapping. Let's keep clapping. Let's keep clapping. I have been to a couple of programs in the university, and very few have been blessed with the presence of the Vice Chancellor in person. We are very grateful, sir, and we recognize and appreciate this strongly in honor of our father, Pharmacist P.S. Wali. Thank you very much, sir. You will also permit me to recognize the workaholic father of ours here. I don't know if I'll call him an academician or an administrator, but he qualifies to be both, because he has written his name in the ranks and file of pharmacy administration in Nigeria. He has also earned title as a professor learning in Nigeria of pharmacy practice. He has also earned his title as a King's as a tradition in the area as a pharmacy excellence. He has also earned a title as father and mentor by excellence in the pharmacy profession. This is no other person but the chairman of the DS Wali Book Project, our own father here, Professor Ahmadu Mora. Of course, from this Wali to legacy, he emanates from Wali. Members of the family are here to recognize him, to appreciate what they're doing, and still own their property even in the night, because he is a proud and a pillar member of their family. The PS Wali family here is Mallam, the former commissioner in Kano State, and the present resource person at the public. This kind of recognition. Today we have been a success, if not for a success. But as research in academics, we have to first recognize our heads of departments that are all here present. I can see the head of department, Professor Additional, head of department of pharmaceutical microbiology here present. Please stand up for recognition. We have head of department of pharmacology and therapy, head of department clinical pharmacy and pharmacy practice. We have head of department pharmaceutical and medicinal chemistry, and we have head of department pharmacognosy and drug development. And we also have head of department of pharmaceutics. Thank you all for being here. The members of the plenary that are here present, the assistant dean, Dr. Shaibu, please stand up for recognition, who also doubles as organizing committee here. I also want to quickly recognize, so sorry, my Vice Chancellor, sir, the people that have gathered themselves to make sure that this book project is a success today, sir. It's important we give honor to whom honor is due. And I'll quickly recognize, the chairman of the book project committee, Professor Ahmadu. I also want to recognize from Ali Jibril, FPSN, Pharm, who is the secretary. So please rise up for recognition very quickly. We also want to recognize Professor Ibrahim Adam Yakase, who is also a member of the book committee. We also want to recognize Professor Umar of the committee. I also want to recognize Ahmadu Mohammed, FPSN, who is also a member of the book project committee. Only what we hope to see in this book, when we have professors loaded, I hope we don't see the structure of alkaloids and proteins. Thank you very much for putting in your time to making this a success. We are indeed very grateful. Very quickly, I want to recognize the representative of the Vice Chancellor Academic, Dean Faculty of Basic Medical Sciences, Professor Haman. Please rise for recognition, sir. Thank you very much, sir. We also want to recognize the representative of the Director, ABU Medical Center, Dr. Alex, who are our professional neighbors and partners in delivery of healthcare services. Now, not to dwell too much on recognition, because a hall like this is indeed loaded with men of personalities, I want us to have a very quick rise for the national anthem before we proceed with this event, please. Okay, so together, PANTS. We have a student of PANTS that will read our national anthem for us. Very quickly, we have a student of PANTS. President. So let's all do the national anthem together. Okay, please, I don't know if you all have the order of program with you on the first page. Let's go together. Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribes and tongues may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians all are proud to have our sovereign motherland. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's all be seated. Now, very quickly, I want to welcome to receive a welcome remarks by the Dean of the Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences, the host of today's event, to tell us why we are here, educate us about whom Pharm Wali is. Please, sir, step down for it. Here we go. The Vice Chancellor, sir, Professor Adam Ahmed, our father, a great lover of the Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences, our own patron father, grandfather, the chairman Wali Book Project Committee, the chairman Governing Council, Benedict University, Okada, the DOT Chairman of AU Pharmacy Alumni Association, former President General of AU Alumni Association, the Wakil Magani Bogo, the current President Mississippi, Ian Tindiga, and State County. Members of the guest lecture, I think I can now prove that I've also become a father because the lecture is also my students. So it's not very for me to do. Members of the GS Wali Project Committee, chaired by the interim chairman of the Pharmacy Alumni Association, Ahmadu. Members of the faculty GS Wali Organized Lecture Committee, chaired by the Assistant Dean, Dr. Shaibali, my esteemed professors, head of departments, members of staff, members of the GS Wali committee that have created time to be part of this wonderful event. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it gives me immense pleasure on behalf of the Faculty of Sciences, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, to warmly welcome you all to the 12th GS Wali Memorial Lecture Series, jointly organized by the Faculty of Medical Sciences and Pharm Wali FPSN Book Project Committee. Today, we gather not only to celebrate scholarship and professional excellence, but also to honor the enduring legacy of an extraordinary pharmacist, a mentor, a philanthropist, and a visionary. Late Pharm Kabiru Wali, FPSN, fondly remembered as Pharm Wali. Pharm Wali is one of the pioneering figures in community pharmacy practice in northern Nigeria. A proud graduate of the School of Pharmacy Zaria of 1957, he exemplified the values of professionalism, integrity, service, and commitment to humanity throughout his illustrious career. Through the establishment of Zaria Pharmaceutical Company Limited 1975 and his leadership as chairman of the administrative branch of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, he left an indelible mark on the pharmacy profession in Nigeria. More importantly, Pharm Wali championed patient-centered pharmaceutical care long before it became a global mantra. He understood that pharmacy is not merely about medicine, but about people, their health, their dignity, and quality of life. His life remains a compelling testimony to the transformative power of vision, perseverance, and service. For us, in the Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, Pharm Wali was more than an alumnus. He was a friend, a benefactor, and a steadfast supporter of the faculty. His contribution to the development of pharmaceutical education and practice continue to inspire generation of students, academics, and practitioners. It is therefore fitting that I preserve his memory through this annual lecture series, serve as a platform for intellectual engagement on contemporary issues shaping our profession. This year's theme, artificial intelligence in modern pharmacy practice, transforming practice, research education, and medical ethics, could not be more timely. We are living in an era where artificial intelligence is revolutionizing virtually every aspect of healthcare, from clinical decision support system and personalized medicine to drug discovery, polypharmacy, and pharmacy education. AI is redefining the future of our profession. Yet, as we embrace these unprecedented opportunities, we must also thoughtfully navigate the ethical, the legal, and professional implications that accompany these technological advances. How do you ensure that AI complements rather than replaces the human touch in patient care. How do we prepare our students and practitioners for an increasingly digital healthcare landscape? And how do we uphold the highest ethical standard in deployment of this powerful tool? That's our medicine. These are some of the pertinent questions that today's lecture seeks to address. We are indeed privileged to have as our guest lecturer Professor Kabiru Gulma, a distinguished scholar, a professor of global health and health system, and a proud alumnus of the faculty and also my students. His accomplishments on the global stage serve as an inspiration to our students and a reminder of the limitless possibility that emerge from the solid foundation provided by Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. We are indeed confident that his broad experience and insight will enrich our understanding of the intersection between artificial intelligence and pharmacy practice. I wish to express our profound appreciation to our own Vice Chancellor for graciously accepting to share this great occasion despite demanding sharing. We are equally grateful to our father, our Professor Ahmadu for granting us this for this year's GS lecture. To members of GS Wali Book Project Committee, I commend your unwavering commitment to preserve the legacy of this great item of pharmacy. The effort ensure that future generations will continue to learn from and be inspired by his remarkable life and achievement. As we commence the proceedings of this first memorial lecture series, let us reflect on the values that Pharm's Wali embodies: service to humanity, excellence, innovation, and unshakable commitment to advancing the pharmacy profession. I pray his legacy continue to guide us as we collectively work towards a healthier society and a more vibrant pharmaceutical sector. Once again, I welcome you all to Ahmadu Bello University Zaria and wish us a fruitful and intellectual and stimulating lecture series. Thank you for your kind attention, and may Allah bless Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the pharmacy profession. Thank you very much. Thank you much. Once a professor, always a professor, and continue to be a professor. Indeed, welcome remarks was very apt and precise. Thank you very much for this, sir. Before I call on the overall boss here to speak, sir, permit me to use this privilege to introduce the people who are Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences is called Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences, which is the wealth of knowledge, the intellectual backbone of this great citadel of learning, which is our professor, sir. Permit me start first. I'm a product of the Department of Pharmaceutical and Medicinal Chemistry. So I recognize first our father here, Professor Elias from the Department of Pharmaceutical and Medicinal Chemistry. Please rise, please rise, please rise, please rise. Professor Elias has been lecturing for over 30 to 40 years. Every pharmacist from ABU in this hall is a student of Professor Elias. Every pharmacy graduate ABU in this hall is a student of Professor Elias. Thank you very much for your services. I go very quickly to also recognize a very sound researcher in the University of Excellence, Professor Yakubu Kokoro Ibrahim, Center Leadership Director, African Center for Neglected and Tropical Diseases. Thank you very much for having me here with us, sir. We also have here Professor Hadera from the Department of Pharmacology and Drug Development. We also have Professor Najma Ilyas of the Department of Pharmacology and Drug Development. We have Professor N. Benjima from the Department of Pharmacology, who is also Director of Vantrack. Thank you for having me here with us, sir. We have Professor Jamil Ilayo of the Department of Pharmacology and Therapeutics. Thank you very much for having me here with us. We have Professor Olalinka of the Department of Pharmaceutical Microbiology. From the echo of the students, sir, you will know he's the friend of the students. We will call him Digital Smart Professor. We also have another Digital Smart Professor just immediately after him, Professor Musa of the Department of Pharmaceutical and Medicinal Chemistry, who also doubles as my chairman of NAPA. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, this is the professor that has been disturbing you. He's the chairman of the Association of Pharmacists in Academia. Thank you very much, sir. We also have Professor Amadi, the head of Department of Clinical Pharmacy, a daughter of the University, a proud daughter of the Vice Chancellor, who is here ably seated in person, facing her own uncle. Thank you very much for having me here. We have just very close to her mentor and her academic role model, a mother in the Department of Therapeutics, Professor D.D. Mama. We also have another head of department who is the mother here. We always say her soft-heartedness is just none, which is no other person but Professor Adishina, head of Department of Pharmaceutical Microbiology. If you ask me to continue, I reserve one in the end because he just gave us an lecture in the university. So it's very known to the Vice Chancellor. He's one of our own professors here. A professor I'm so proud to associate myself with, Professor Zaria of the Department of Pharmacology and Therapeutics. Thank you very much, sir. It means when people sit down close to them, they do the inaugural lecture. Professor Zaria just gave us one. We're expecting one from Professor and gentlemen. And then for that, I shall provide to you next. Thank you very much. I also want to recognize other academics here. Thank you for being here with us. Other academic lecturers, including myself, Mallam, yes, of the Department of Pharmacy and Medicinal Chemistry. Thank you very much. Now, I want us, both members of families of Pharmacy Wali, invited guests, our professors here, our students, to hear from the chief host of today's event, the Vice Chancellor of Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, Ahmadu. Thank you very much. Let's hear from you, sir. Thank you very much. It's a fairly difficult moment for me, when I have to address a gathering like this where many elders are seated that have made a lot of difference in my life. But I'll try to do that. Let me especially recognize Professor Ahmadu, the Chairman Governing Council of the Median University of Order, and someone who has continued to play a very key role to the advancement of pharmacy education in this country. Let me also like to recognize the family of a late Pharmacy D.S. Wali. I think this is a highly emotional event, watching his family come all the way from Kano to join in this very historic moment. The Dean of the Faculty, our guest lecturer, heads of departments, our dear students. I said this is a very historic moment. We see batons being passed from one generation to the other. Pharmacist D.S. Wali did his best for pharmacy. A lot of what has happened in pharmacy can be traced back to him. He has inspired nearly every pharmacist, not only in northern Nigeria, but the entire country. And so what you are doing today to him is something that is long expected. So I'd like to congratulate every pharmacist and particularly the book organizing committee for doing this very huge and laudable project in its honor. One lesson that we must take, and this goes to those that are coming up. Many of the senior colleagues in pharmacy have been mentioned here. Professor Elias, several others, including Professor Y.K. Ibrahim. With time, these are people that will move on. The flag pharmacy must be sustained. The challenge to every one of the younger generation coming up to know that there's even greater work to be delivered. The guest lecturer today is speaking about AI and as it relates to pharmacy practice. This is one very difficult area that we have to navigate very cautiously, but to understand that it's an inevitable thing, and therefore we need to prepare ourselves, not only as teachers, but as students. So I'll argue all of us to listen very carefully, digest the presentation, and let's see what sense we can make out of it. Let me finally appreciate the Faculty of Pharmaceutical Science. I think this is a to continue. It's a big family. Pharmacy has played a very key role in the advancement of education in this university. And will continue to do so. Each time we look for people who can deliver, we come to. And this we will continue to do because we trust in your capabilities as you continue to be inspired by those that have come before you. From the perspective of alumni, I think every faculty looks up to learn from Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences. Association. And we'd like to urge you to continue to do whatever that we can to ensure that this continues to happen. Each time I remember the efforts of Professor Johnny Mora when he was the alumni president worldwide. It used to be every alumni association. We moved it to the worldwide level. The theater that he got, even the president that he influenced, the twin theater that we have here. It just shows you the energy he continues to have, the smart ideas that he continues to have, and that have helped pharmacy to where it is today. So, thank you. He continues to teach. Everything belongs all over, like the MC had said. He wonders why he's in Zaria today, Abuja tomorrow, Okada tomorrow, teaching almost everywhere. We wish you greater health and success. So on behalf of the university, I'd like to congratulate the faculty and to wish us all a very fruitful deliberation today. Thank you and God bless everyone. Thank you very much, the Vice Chancellor, Ahmadu University Zaria, silent achiever. Has been great. We have been happy, and we can only pray that God will continue to strengthen you and lift you to greater heights.
But sir, the people of Nigeria are now laying ownership over you, sir. Thank you very much. I was privileged to be the president of Students' Council in 2010. And as a Luther comrade, we always have a commandant that we take our truck to before he now pushes it to the office of the Vice Chancellor. This is no other person than the Dean, Student Affairs Division, Professor Salu Junaid is here. Please stand up for recognition. Students, recognize him very well. If you want accommodation, recognize him very well. Free reservation if you are in Faculty of Pharmaceutical Science, recognize him very well. Thank you very much, Prof, sir, for having you here with us.
Be a very good location to be blessed to present. You also recognize one of our own here who came as a guest in this event, Alhaji Abubakar Abdullahi, the MDCA of Surgical Peace Tours Limited. Sir, please stand up for recognition, sir. Thank you for having me here, sir. Now, having had our chief host and our father,
who has been the pillar behind the stability of the university atmosphere, who is also, I don't know if I have the right to call you an engineer, sir, because you are constructing all the roads in the university, sir. Yes, we know that to whom honor is due, honor is given to. In your tenure, sir, in over 20 to 30
years, the university is experiencing a facelift. We are indeed very grateful for your efforts, sir. And we're also thankful that you have not forgotten Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences in your rebranding of the university. Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences is enjoying your attention. The Dean of the faculty can attest to the constant briefing of how you keep your doors open to him. We are indeed very grateful once again, sir. Now, we will invite our father again, who is the chairman of the DS Wali Project Committee, to give us a brief about the lecture, not the lecture proper, but it's like a pre-lecture, a very brief one. Well, you know when you ask a professor to give a brief, you should expect something more than a brief. Permit me invite once more again our own father, Professor Ahmadu Mora, ANMNI, Kakan Sarkin Musulmi, a fellow mother in Zazzau. Our father, please let's hear from you, the chairman of 18 Mora Project Committee.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Our Vice Chancellor, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, the greatest university in Africa, south of Zaria and north of Limpopo, the greatest university in West Africa, the greatest university in Nigeria. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, we are privileged to have you here. I had my heart in my mouth for the past 1 week, hoping and praying that you'll be here. So when I was informed that the Vice Chancellor was in the Dean's office, I said, okay, let's go and welcome him. And I went there. I didn't see anybody. He said it's in the Dean's office. I entered the Dean's office, nobody. The Vice Chancellor came alone. And that's significant. I've never seen such kind of humility in all my association with the university. No rating, nobody, just alone. You just now that with our Junaid working student affairs and so on. So we are really humbled with this magnanimity and this role modelship that you are showing us. We thank you very much. I think the protocol has been laid, and I want to especially welcome the members of the Kabiru Suleiman Wali family. Baba Denchi, MON, MNI, my brother is here. Of course, Salahuddin Naid Wali is here, who was my junior in Barial College, a very fantastic footballer, and other members of the Kabiru Suleiman Wali family. We are welcome. And the Dean of the Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Mr. Magazine, wanted to harass our guest lecturer. He said he was his student. Fine. You are my student too. And then you are taught by Professor Abdul Zezi
who was my student too. So I enjoy the moment now because I graduated from Wali in 1978. Each time I look around and I don't see Professor Onalapo, I check that leadership. Because Professor Onalapo was 1977. And I'm 1977. There's nobody senior to me here as a pharmacist, 1978. So they are right to call me a grandfather. Thank you very much. When we graduated, this building, sir, was not built. We're in the old block. The family year we came here. Maybe some of you, if I allow me please to say, Pa Ishaku. Who was Pa Ishaku? Pa Ishaku was the sub-dean of the Faculty of Pharmaceutical Science. That time, we were Department of Pharmacy and Pharmacology, Faculty of Science. We were under Faculty of Science. That's where I have BSc Pharmacy. It was in our area that we gravitated and converted into a full faculty. P.O. Peter Omar Ishaku, that's the full names, was the sub-dean here, and he came from Garko in Kano State, although he's converted to Christianity. He was a fantastic human being, an elder, somebody who really served Professor Gabriel Osudi very well in the sub-dean. It was in 1980 or 1981 when Professor Osudi was the dean of postgraduate school, I remember. They were building this, graduated, and Pa Ishaku died in a motor accident along Saminaka. Professor Osudi requested the vice chancellor of the dean. The memo was done, all the papers were done to name this building after his sub-dean, Pa Ishaku Lecture Theatre. And in 2008, when we invited Pharmacy Number of His Excellency, the Governor of Taraba State, to as a guest during our second AGM is APU Pharmacy Alumni Association. And we wanted to actually, we had 4 projects, including the part of clinical pharmacy. Clinical pharmacy in Shika. We went to Shika, and so Professor Aldo agreed, and he gave us the space for it. And then suite for lecturers. And then the twins, 250-seater capacity lecture theatre, and also pharmaceutical technology hub. Those are the 4 projects we laid on the table. What I just told you about. So at one time, the governor of Taraba State asked me, President Asia Excellency, what do you want us to have? That was in Jarebu, governor says, I want clinical pharmacy. He said, okay, you have clinical pharmacy. We came here, and Professor Osudi said just what I said about Pa Ishaku, that he wrote the memo. I'm sure some of you are here, and that he should be named after Pa Ishaku. Then the governor called me and said, look, there's a change. He now said the Taraba State government would build the twin 250-seater capacity lecture theatre. That's that one, which the DC referred to. And even though it's more expensive than the clinical pharmacy that I wanted, or rather, ABU Pharmacy Administration wanted, he said, we will build between 250-seater capacity lecture theatre, and it will be named after you. That's how we got the Gabriel Osudi Lecture Theatre got. So one good turn deserves another. I just thought I should say that for just. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all, especially our amiable Vice Chancellor, to the Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences, my alma mater, on the occasion of the 12th lecture in the lecture series of the late pharmacist Ahmadu Wali, Fellow of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, who lived 1935 and 2020. He was born in Kano City, sir, in 1935. The son of Suleiman Wali Kano, Majin Kano at one time. On behalf of the pharmacist D.S. Wali book project, made up of myself, pharmacist Alo Jibril, pharmacist this Kano man, pharmacist, anyway, I'll spare you because our father, Ibrahim Ademiakase, pharmacist Professor Umar Usman Pati, and pharmacist Ahmed Gana, who's not here. I warmly welcome you all. The late pharmacist Wali would have been 91 years old today, exactly, if he had lived under no space. The pharmacist DS Wali Project Committee was established in this faculty in February 2011. What began as a committee, DS Wali, an icon of community pharmacy practice in Nigeria, which was presented to the public at Mumbai House in April 2013, is the first biography of any northern pharmacist. Soon evolved to a body that planned annual lectures in honor of the. The inaugural lecture was held on 23rd July 2015 to commemorate the 80th birthday of pharmacist Wali. Committee pharmacist Omar Usman Party delivered that lecture at the Dialogue Institute, Aliaji Road in Kaduna. Mallam Wali witnessed the first lecture, 2015, and subsequently the second, 2016, third, 2017, fourth, 2018 lectures. Due to failing health, Mallam could not attend the fifth lecture, which took place in Kaduna on the 3rd July 2019, his 84th birthday. Members of the committee, however, visited him at his residence of number 4 Jala Close, Zaria, Kaduna, to felicitate with him and his family. Mallam passed away peacefully in June 2020 in Kaduna, leaving behind his wife, Mrs. Jutta Wali, his children, Dr. Ujudut Wali and Hajia Amina Wali, and many grandchildren. Aisha Wali. May his gentle soul rest in perfect peace. Amen. Mallam Wali also left a legacy of outstanding service to the public through education and the pharmacy profession. Today we are gathered here, as we have done every year since 2015, to celebrate the life of this distinguished pharmacist, whose professional practice was best exemplified through Zaria Pharmaceutical Limited, a community pharmacy he established in Kaduna. The pharmacy first operated along Ahmadu Bello, later moved to Sadona Crescent, then to Daba Hotel, and finally to Yoruba Road, opposite Magazine Garage office in Kaduna, while it operated between 1975 and 2002. Zaria Pharmaceutical Limited was adjudged by many as the best-run community pharmacy in northern Nigeria, and among the highest-ranked pharmacy practices in the country. Through the instrumentality of these annual lectures, students, practitioners, and teachers of pharmacy are continually reminded of the exemplary life dedicated to the service of humanity and the pharmacy profession by the late Mallam Wali. Mallam was our mentor, leader, teacher, who honestly and sincerely guided those of us privileged to have come in contact with him. I will briefly give 3 instances where the wise counseling of Mallam positively affected my life. In 1976, that was exactly 60 years ago, or 50 years ago, as an executive committee member of the Pharmaceutical Association of the Student Parts, and a secretary of the first Pharmacy Week organizing committee, what is the part 2 student, that's level 200 now. I first came in contact with him. We were organizing the Pharmacy Week, and myself and one boy in part 1. We went to Zaria Pharmacy along Ahmadu Bello to solicit for funds. Then he asked us when it was taking place. I told him that he said, okay, come on such as, like say, come next week. The following week, actually, it was examination time. So I went to see the boy in part 1 for night justice. I said, let's go to Kaduna. He said, no, I'm not going. I said, why? He said, we have examination. He didn't have examination, but I just said, let's just go. So I went alone. I went and saw Mallam. Why is the other boy? He said, you didn't come because you had examination. He said, don't you have examinations? He said, I have some. Immediately I came back to face my books. Second, in 1982, when they left my friend, Pharmacy Nuhu Namale Ibrahim, and I stopped at Zaria Pharmaceutical along Ahmadu Bello on our way to Benin City for the annual meeting as pharmaceutical representative. I was based in Kano with Grunantha, Farco Nigeria Limited on Beirut Road. So we had this annual meeting, sales meeting as sales representatives in January of 1982 in Kano, sorry, in Benin. It used to be in Lagos. We now said no, we wanted to go around. So there was haze, Hamatan haze at that time. And one other person said he was not going to Benin because there was haze. So I said to Mallam, let's go by road. The road we stopped at Zaria Pharmacy to greet Mallam. Just to get, say, okay, why was we going to say we are going to Benin? That's around 12 noon. No problem. In fact, I think we entered Benin around Maghrib time also. We dropped. Just simple, carry, not dualize and so on. He said, you should do, anytime you're working for somebody, you should put in your, because the way you work for someone, like you're doing now, is the way you work eventually when you open your own practice. That's lesson number 2. During my service, I was the chief pharmacist of Kabiru, Ministry of Health, 1989. Eventually, I became the director of pharmaceutical services. So, and at the same time, I was elected as the chairman of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria. So at one time, that was the time when drug abuse was getting crazy, drug abuse, and so on, the scourge of drug abuse. And I felt there was some militant pharmacists around. The government should do this to the military government. So I felt there was going to be a conflict of interest. I didn't know what to do. And I was the chief pharmacist of the state, advising the government. And here I was again as the president, chairman of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, on the other side, attacking government. So I went to Mallam. I said, okay, I have a dilemma that I'm the chief pharmacist of the state. And I'm the chairman of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria. As this, I don't want conflict of interest and so on. I want to resign. I told him I wanted to resign. He said, don't resign. That how long is the tenure? So I said 3 years. I didn't know that. I forgot that it's 1 year. After every year, you now seek for re-election. So I said, so I said, okay, wait until February 1990. Otherwise, people are very funny. If you say you just resign like that, somebody will think there's a program. And I was the better for it. And I held on until February 1990. And I handed over to my deputy, Professor Ezri Mutar Abraham of the memory. And I was really better, and I was relieved. I cannot conclude these remarks. Today we will listen to a young ABU trained pharmacist who was taught by Professor Mohammed Garba Magaji. Mohammed Garba Magaji was taught by Professor Zizi. And I taught Professor Zizi. You know that very well, isn't it? For the 12th, in honor of our Wali, Professor Gulma will be formally introduced later in the program. I don't want to see more of that. But he's a young man who has come up. In fact, he became a professor of global health in January this year. Prof, congratulations. I cannot complete this opening remarks without expressing my sincere appreciation to the Vice Chancellor of this great university, Professor Ademo Ahmed. I worked very closely with him when I was President Worldwide ABU Alumni Association in his capacity as Director of University Advancement. We worked very, very well and cordially, as you can see. Sir, we thank you very much for your support to us, ABU Alumni Association. We are grateful. We are deeply grateful for your presence and encouragement. I have already mentioned Mrs. Juta Wali. We are also honored by the presence of Alhaji Salahuddin Naib Wali, Alhaji Babadanchi, and other members of the DS family and family here. In fact, that family produced about 3 commissioners of information. Babadanchi was commissioner of information under civilian regime. Salahuddin Naib Wali was commissioner during the time of the late Kwantagora, Kwantagora, when he was spiritual advisor, and the late Ujudud Sharif Wali, Ujudud Sharif, a nephew, also commissioner in Kano State. Finally, to our indefatigable dean of pharmaceutical sciences, Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, Professor Mohammed Garba Magaji, we say keep up the excellent work. Congratulations. I wish you all rewarding lecture, fruitful deliberations, and active participation. Thank you, and Allah bless.
Ahmed Tijani Eminem. I'll go very quickly to the next order of the event today, which will be a brief session of the guest lecturer by the Secretary of the Book Project Committee, Pharm Jibril, FPSN.
Thank you very much. The chairman of this late Chancellor, Professor Mohammed, our chairman, yes, Wali Project Committee, the rock of the committee, Professor Mora, MI, our guest lecturer today, our host, the Dean, Faculty of Physical Sciences, distinguished professors, head of departments, and they are present. Good morning. The story of our guest lecturer can be described as a story of early promise that is faithfully kept. Born in Birmingham, he attended Polytechnic Staff School in Kebbi, from where he got admitted into the famous Borewa College here in Zaria. At Borewa College, he was the library captain. Perhaps that's the reason why he developed in writing and reading. He was the library captain at Borewa College. In 2001, he emerged the best graduate student of set at that Borewa College. Then he got admission into this university and this faculty in particular in 2002 to complete his journey of becoming a pharmacist. In 2005-2006 session, he became the national editor-in-chief of the Federation of Nigerian Students, Pharm. Even as a student, he maintained a column that is called Pharm in Pharm News newspaper. He maintained a column there when he was there. It was Africa's most famous health journal. Again, still as a student, he authored a book that was publicly presented titled Pharmacy Education, Information Technology in the 21st Century, which earned him a merit scholarship and a tribute in the national press for as what wanted to support for marrying ICT to pharmacy. Upon graduating in 2010 from this faculty and after being supervising in some universities in this country and a preceptor at the West African College of Pharmacists, his scholarly output exceeds 70 publications, including contributions to the global burden of disease studies, alongside 6 books. True to form, he built something no Nigerian has built before, and that is MC Gulma's Pharmaceutical Dictionary, the nation's first pharmaceutical dictionary offered free to professional students alike. The choice of today's lecturer was not merely fitting. It is by design. It is also deliberate. When our committee was writing the book, D.S. Wali, an icon of holistic pharmacy practice in Nigeria, in 2012, it was today's guest lecturer who contributed a 10-page chapter on ICT in community pharmacy practice in the future, a challenge to pharmacists. This book, page 254, is his paper, his contribution in this book. And since then, he was talking about ICT in pharmacy practice of the future, a challenge to pharmacists. So, we in the 13 years on now, we in the committee think the same person is returning to this podium now to speak on artificial intelligence in modern pharmacy practice, transforming practice reshaping education, and negating ethics. Now, away from the lecture hall and the policy table, an adventurous sportsman, a devotee of Scrabble and of development books. He's happily married with children. The chairman today, a one-time undergraduate of the university and faculty in Uganda, has returned home to the teachers who taught him, now as our guest lecturer. It is therefore with immense pride, the pride of the faculty, welcoming home one of his own, that I invite Professor Kabiru Gulma, a fellow of the Academy of Public Health and a fellow of the Royal Health, to deliver the 12th in the series of the annual public lectures in honor of pharmacist Mallam Wali, FPSN. Please help me to welcome Professor Kabiru Gulma to deliver the lecture. Thank you.
The chairman of this lecture, the chancellor of our great university, Professor Ahmadu, our dean, my teacher, Professor Mohammed Magaji Garba, the chairman of the DSE Book Committee, Professor Ahmed Tijani Mora, OON, MNI, William Inzaz, Kayan Sarkin Muslimi, Ian Perida, among others. The representatives of the DS Wali family here present, my teachers, my lecturers, professors, my colleagues in practice, students, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon to you all. It's a great honor to me to be invited here to be speaking on artificial intelligence in modern pharmacy practice, transforming practice, reshaping education, and navigating ethics. When this decision was communicated to me, honestly, I felt I wasn't the best candidate for this. But Professor Mora said that we have to be bringing younger generation, to be mixing the older generation and the younger generation, so that the burden of the profession can be passed systematically. And when I heard again that I'll be presenting it at the Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences, I even became more scared because I know many of my lecturers will be here again. I know Professor Wali, Professor Olaika will still look at me with that face of a student. I may be discouraged. But to me, this is more than a lecture. This is homecoming to me. And I'm very glad to be here and to stand here before you to share some of my little insights. So, looking back to this lecture, I was reflecting on my entanglement with the late pharmacist P.S. Wali. I think I first came across him during our PANS days as students. We do organize PANS weeks, so we invite people. And I think I was at Yoruba Road, Samia Pharmacy Limited, to deliver an invitation to him. So that was my first encounter with him. I think it was in 2005 and 2006, so exactly 20 years ago. Secondly, after then, when I published my book, I was distributing invitations, and I was at the Samia Pharmacy again. Just to deliver a courtesy invitation to him, not an obligation for him to come, and I'm not expecting that he will come. Lo and behold, the old gentleman came by himself. And that's a picture of me, him, and Professor Mora, Professor Wali during that event. He didn't only come, I think he gave me a generous donation that he passed through Professor Mora as the chairman of the occasion then. And I won't forget that envelope of 200 naira, 2,000 naira cash Yes, then I don't know how I came, but because with Professor Mora, I believe he invited me to write a chapter on this, and which the secretary of the committee has already mentioned, and I wrote a chapter, as you can see. And then I think the last encounter with him was the book launch at the Mumbai house. That time I was in Sokoto. I worked in Sokoto, but I came all the way to Mumbai house to attend that book launch. And then since after then, I think I kept in touch. And then he's wanted to mention that you'll be talking about artificial intelligence here. I think the background will not allow you to see some of these things, but I'll continue anyway. When I was a student in this faculty, that's the only picture of myself I think that I can trace. I think the most advanced piece of technology that we have then was an electronic pharmacopoeia. Before then, you will see students carrying Martindale, BPC, BNF, carrying their pestle and mortar in their white lab coats coming to the dispensing lab. You know that definitely there's dispensing that day. While we were students started owning laptops with inspiration from our lecturers. And we got to understand that these official books can also be electronic. So that was the first upgrade to technology, from paper-based, voluminous reference books into electronic pharmacopoeia. So instead of displaying them on the dispensing bench and scrolling through them trying to detect one interaction or another, we started using laptops. I will not forget Mrs. Mahmoud. I don't know if she's still in the faculty. She's the one that taught us how to detect interaction using a Martindale. Specifically, I think I can remember her. Put this drug in double quotes. This second one in double quotes. Then it interacts all the interactions. So that was apart from piece of technology. But today we are here to discuss something even more important than that. Something that touches every aspect of the profession. So I will briefly say that pharmacist T.S. Wali built his legacy on trust. I think many people that knew him will attest to the fact that he was present, he was accessible, he was accountable. And as far as I know, he operated at pharmacy for nearly 3 decades, if not more than that. He treated his patients with trust and empathy. So as artificial intelligence is of the patient, the very big question of this lecture will be, will this artificial intelligence strengthen that trust built by late pharmacist T.S. Wali, or will it erode it? So everything we do in this will reflect on this question. So I see artificial intelligence as movement, and I decided to divide this lecture into 5 parts. The first part will be talking about what artificial intelligence is and what it is. We'll just briefly define what machine learning is and what all these AIs are. And we'll dispel some of the myths that it can replace pharmacists in the long run. Then in part 2, we will briefly see how it is transforming practice, especially in medication review, in fighting falsified medicines, including AI literacy, critical appraisal of algorithms, data fluency, and ethics training. And then in part 4, we will navigate the ethics. We will go through the key ethical challenges, which include bias, the issues around privacy, the issues around accountability. What if these AI tools make this who will accountable? And then the scaling risk in AI-assisted pharmacy practice. And then in the last part, the charge, that is the Pharmacy AI initiative, which is more or less like a proposal. The lecture shouldn't just end in a talk, but a concrete proposal on what are our next steps. How are we planning to embrace this? So in the first part, I will discuss what AI is and what isn't. So artificial intelligence, in very simple terms, we can say the science of making machines that can think like humans. These machines can also do things that are considered smart. This AI can process large amounts of data in ways unlike humans. And the goal for AI is to be able to do things such as recognize patterns, make decisions, and judge just like humans do. So that is what artificial intelligence is all about. Artificial intelligence, we can broadly categorize it into 2. We have the rule-based AI, which is a hand-coded AI. The type that just detects in our martingale that I talked about, and we have what is called machine learning, the one that learns from patterns. So this machine learning, can be divided also into two. We have generative AI, the one that can generate content. We're all familiar with our AI tools now. We have ChatGPT, we have Gemini, we have Grok. Even WhatsApp, it has Meta AI and stuff like that. And we have agentic AI, the ones that you can use as an agent. You can, make it to plan and execute tasks. So we have seen what AI is briefly. So what is now not AI again? Because we are in the pharmacy or medical sector, we'll be applying it, in health-related issues. So we need to know that AI is not a diagnostician. AI doesn't diagnose. It doesn't examine patients. If you ask AI about the drug you can take in any particular disease, some reasonable AI, they will decline and they will say they are not medical professionals. And AI is not always right. It can be confidently wrong, very confidently wrong, especially when it first came. If you ask AI to write you a simple lazy and such references, to write very beautiful and sound grammar, but very fake references that cannot be verified. If you prompt it to give you links to those references, it will give you links, but all the links are fake when you click them. And AI is not accountable because AI doesn't have license. It doesn't judge and it doesn't have empathy. It's a machine built by humans. So it is the pharmacist that has the license, it is the pharmacist that can be held accountable, and it is the pharmacist that should judge in the long run. So there are two myths that I want to dispel this morning. One of the speakers has said one or two things about it, that AI will replace pharmacists. We have to understand that AI has no license. It will bear no liability and has no relationship with the patient. It simply reads patterns and it does not bear responsibility. In the media, I've seen that one fintech company, Klarna, developed an AI tool. And in 2003, because of the promises of that AI tool, they fired their staff in the marketing and customer care. So the AI chatbot took over. But in 2025, they realized their mistakes. They recalled most of their staff because they realized that they do work with colleagues that see AI as this kind of, constant thing, and it doesn't bother them. Even for the fact that it can help you do some things that can save you, the time of AI is here. It will save your time. It only does the work, but you need. So let's see how AI is transforming practice. And in this, I would like to start by playing a very short video of this case study. Let's assume this is Haja Amina in this Zaria, who is 68 years old and goes to community pharmacy here in Zaria. Currently, she's taking amlodipine 10 milligrams, April, 20 milligrams. No, not yet. Yes. She's also on metformin 400 milligrams pot over counter for her knee, and then a bitter leaf herbal preparation for the market. She complains that she feels dizzy in the mornings and as swelling. So I have seen that Professor Danjuma and Sisi they are already because it's an area of interest. So as an ordinary pharmacist, for a patient community of pharmacy with this, complex case, how long do you think it will take you to review her medications, to detect interactions, to advice? So I will just share a less than 2-minute video on how AI can do that.
Cooking, okay. So it didn't take the media. They took the media.
Just play. You set everything up. Okay, I just follow assembly okay, and other places like virtual exam. You are very smart TVs. You want to calculate your home. One can go make shift. Yeah.
Okay, there's actually something this has not placed. This is always in the one that I just discussed in the future. It's in the past. So this is what the AI is saying about the prescriptions. Maybe Professor Zizi can help us verify that claim of the AI. So we just seen a presentation, although it's not in the way that I want, and it has actually voices. So let's move on without it. But the AI actually just worked within 90 seconds, and in that 90 seconds, it came out with this output. It's like a drug-drug interaction between lisinopril and ibuprofen, which may lead to blunted BP control and renal risk in elderly diabetic, which will also be the likely culprit for swelling ankles. And then there's also hypoglycemia risk. She's already on glibenclamide. She's an elderly woman, and that glibenclamide may be the reason for her morning dizziness, which is already black. And also there is half-drug interaction, vitamin preparations with potentiate glucose lowering together with glibenclamide, which is a counseling point for the pharmacy generated. And then also the AI can propose you a structured plain language counseling summary. So the question here is, did it replace pharmacists or handing Nigerian pharmacists reports having unintentionally purchased in their practice? And 1/3 of pharmacists claim that they might have dispensed counterfeit medicines. So how will AI help in fighting falsified traceability, that is GS1 standards and AI anomaly detection? We already know in supermarkets now they use barcode to scan the price of their commodities. So this kind of technology can be used in order to trace the origin of that particular drug. If some of you are used to buying things online, for instance in AliExpress, once you place an order, you'll be given a tracking number, and at any time you'll be seeing the movement of that commodity. You will see that at first instance you have order, then subsequently it was shipped from the warehouse, then subsequently it has moved to the sorting center, then to the port, it has left the country, it has reached Nigeria, it is in Lagos, and then it is on its way to Ghana and Zaria, and then it is in Zaria, and then on its way to your doorstep. So AI can be used in order to code those barcodes in such a way that they can trace the origin of that medication from the manufacturers and up to the user. Then pattern intelligence. AI can also learn how to flag suspicious import routes, repeat offender importers, and unusual shipment patterns. All these are red flags that it can give you in order to kind of give you a warning that this medicine may be fake or may be counterfeit medicines. And then NLP mines adverse events reports. There's a MedCity app that can do that faster than humans. What I know usually happens now, we build yellow. So before that happens, AI can mine huge amounts of data within the shortest possible period of time, and then flag upcoming adverse events. And this year also, Nigeria's electronic pharmacy regulations are now presented into law. The business implementation plan points to a fully integrated pharmaceutical system, which is hoped to improve access with fewer substandard medicines and data-driven public health decisions. So if this is fully implemented, what does this mean? It means that your dispensing record will now become data. It will become auditable and it will become connected. Then your inventory fits into the national visibility of medicines flow. I know in our work in public health, we do support many states to do what is called a stock status report, What this means is to, ascertain, the stock of drugs, all manners of commodities, and ascertain how long they will last. And because that is a tedious exercise and somewhat retrospective exercise, because we do use a previous report in order to come to that conclusion. What drugs do we have here, and what is the average monthly consumption? So how long will it last? We'll be able to see areas where there are stockouts, and we'll be able to see areas where there are too much of those commodities, so that a transfer can be arranged. So, but with this inventory visibility, we don't need to wait for paper-based report in order to know where our stock position is. AI is if we regularly feed in information. And then the implication for our practice is that it will extend online. We will have more of tele pharmaceuticals and also e-prescriptions. They are already in existence, but not so much in Nigeria. So how can we use AI in community pharmacy? Is to do what is called inventory tactics. What we do now, we do paper-based recording. Any commodity we receive at the warehouse, we put it in ledger, and then later when we dispense it out, we now record it. But electronic way of doing it is already in existence, but that electronic means has to be fitted with AI. With AI, it can demand, it can do forecasting in such a way that it can alert you or alarm you that so quantity is getting low without you having going to check it over the counter. And AI can also be used to follow up with clients, those that are on medications, that are continuous, like hypertensive, like diabetes, and also like HIV. So you don't always need to look at your register, and you can only see that register when you are at the facility. But with AI, you can have those automatic reminders either on your mobile cell phone or if you are at the facility over the computer system. And we have seen how AI, can help us with our counseling by shortening the time for medication review, by suggesting drug or drug disease or drug food interaction, and also by generating counseling points for the pharmacist to review and sign off. And then if we do this in the community pharmacy, we have a counter that is upgraded, like the ones we used to have before, the ones that Wali has worked on all through his life. In the hospital setting, AI can assist in clinical decision support. For instance, real-time using alerts, and renal or hepatic adjustment built into, for instance, ward-round workflows. We have also seen how it can help in medication review. It can help also in medication reconciliation. It can help us check admission transfer, admission before harm opens. And also it can, aid in sterile compounding and robotics. IV admixture robots and barcode checks cause compounding errors in high volume wards. And also it can help to detect or flag resistance trends in inappropriate prescribing hospital. In industrial pharmacy, it can help in formulation and drug discovery. Before screening of drug molecules will take a good PhD thesis, maybe 3 to 5 years. But now with AI, you can do all that within 1 hour. It can also help in quality control. If we have all these computers that have visions that can scan tablets and vials in hundreds and in thousands beyond human eye, so it can help you catch any anomaly before you do as a person. And it can also help in predictive maintenance of the machines. What we do now is plan preventive maintenance, and normally facilities have scheduled maybe quarterly, maybe annually to check their machines and what the faults are. That can even sense that there's going to be a problem. Then that is an advanced warning for you to look into it before it breaks down. And then we have also briefly talked about supply chain and demand sensing in the previous slides. It can help to forecast and what stock you have, how many days of stock out before so weeks, and then flag it up. Then how can AI be used in pharmacy research? We are all used to literature synthesis. we do it before in a very rigorous way. We do also have software that do it, but all those things now I can do within just maybe a few minutes to 1 hour. It can scan hundreds and thousands of papers within hours, no longer months again. And also it can help in trial design and analysis. For instance, in the earlier trial that we have seen, AI was used to, inpatient stratification. Also, there's real-world evidence, like in hospital mining and pharmacy records, where AI, can scan many records. For instance, I did my undergraduate project by visiting hospitals, going to their records section to give me about 100 folders, check prescriptions with that have antibiotics in order to determine the antibiotic prescription profiles of these institutions. But now with all this, you will not need to go to the hospital record section to give like 100 files or folders. If you have this electronically with an AI, whatever you can do that within minutes. And also AI can help you, with grant and manuscript support. For instance, in first review and also checking your results. So before this takes considerable amount of time, but now with AI, things are getting much easier. So how can AI also help in public health and regulatory practice? It can help in pharmacovigilance. We have already seen, I've already seen how it can help scan many records. For instance, our yellow pages, in order to, take adverse reports more faster than a manual review. And also, predictive models can flag emerging medicine sources and disease trends across states. It can also help in surveillance. AI-assisted screening helps regulators to spot fortified medicines moving through the supply chains. And at the policy level, population level analysis inform essential medicines list and pricing decisions. So with this AI and pharmacy, the role shifts, but the responsibility doesn't. There are things that AI takes over. For instance, information retrieval. It's even good for us. You don't have to spend hours and days retrieving information anywhere. AI can help and do it for you. Then pattern detection across thousands of records. With human eye, you can't keep a pattern in your memory for as long as maybe a few minutes. But AI can help detect those patterns. Even if they are 100, it can help you do that within seconds. And can help you with first draft documentation for you to review, and then routine surveillance are reminded. But what the pharmacist will keep will be clinical judgment, which is the most important at the final decision. In our short video, we have seen how AI proposed the medications, but that doesn't mean that the pharmacist will just go ahead and act on that. The pharmacist is the one trained, he's the one with the license, and he is the one that will be held accountable. So the final decision rests on him. And the pharmacist also retains the accountability because the license is for the pharmacist, not the AI. AI cannot be sued. AI cannot appear before the disciplinary tribunal of either the Pharmacy Council of Nigeria or any hospital. And then the pharmacist also keeps the relationship, the trust, the empathy, and the presence. And then the pharmacist retains the oath, first patients. So in this part, we will see how AI is reshaping education. This is more or less saying maybe what with the coming of AI, what do we need to emphasize? In the past, in our examination, especially biochemistry, in test or exam, they'll be telling us to draw the Krebs cycle or to draw the pathway of breakdown of glucose in the body. But that is memorization. This is something now that is that electronic that you can, have it in your home any day, anytime. So we should try to emphasize those kind of things. And we should also emphasize assessment that rewards recall over reasoning. I don't know whether it's the student that perceives it that way or it's the system that is like that. Exam will rather test, some exams will test what you can recall over what you will reason. But I think before I left here with the coming of clinical pharmacy, that narrative drastically shifted from just states maybe the physicochemical properties of it, or what are the side effects of this drug, to a case something like this one. The patient came in with this disease condition and these are results that is taking. What would be your advice? Now, we need to introduce AI literacy. For instance, what models can, what they cannot, and what they should do. We should be able to teach this machine what it can help us do to further our work. Then we will introduce critical appraisal of algorithmic outputs, the new literature evaluation, and also data fluency and digital health systems thinking. We need to be able to think, to judge, because the AI is already the one doing the work as we speak. The AI is the agent now. And then also we will maintain our, these are the ones that are irreplaceable. These are the ones that will confer trust of patients in you. A patient will not trust you so much if he sees that you rely on AI 100%. But even after getting the AI output, you can review and then make your own judgments. Okay, so still in this section, what we need to make AI to be for us, especially for students, is that we let AI be something like your partner, not something that will replace your judgment or your reading. After your lecture, before your test, before your exam, you can use this AI to examine you, or you can use this AI to quiz you, or you can have like a past question with some case studies, and you have a drafted plan for yourself and give AI to like review it for you. So use AI in that way. Also, you need to always verify the output of AI. AI can make very gross mistakes, and it can do that very boldly. And at times, it will come with a disclaimer. It's not a physician. It's not a medical expert. You need to review, or you need to visit the hospital. And lastly, you have to own your name, because whatever you submit under your name must contain your thinking, your integrity, and your clinical skill. So this is a brief personal reflection. I have received these so many questions. Given the fact that I'm not a full-time academic, many people ask me how I work in pocket and how I rose from senior lecturer up to professor. So why actually? So it's simple. I think we embraced technology earlier on. Since the time of dispensing, when we moved from official books to Martin Day, the internet helped in so many ways, from traditional degrees to online degrees from reputable universities. All these ones are ways you can leverage technology in order to advance career. Also, networks and mentorship. Even though I graduated from faculty about 8 years, I still keep in touch with my lecturers. Professor Magaji Garba will attest to that, and also Professor Abilu Musa. We have all been in touch in this regard. And also, we need to not just embrace the science of pharmacy, but how pharmacy is in the broader health system, because we are just a component, just a building block of the health system. So we actually need to connect, we need to expand our horizon. So now let's navigate ethics. Ethical challenges for AI in pharmacy. Usually they are about 5 principal things. We have the bias, and we have issues of privacy. Then we have issue of who is accountable when there's a harm and error. Then how about equity, and then the skill as we are not AI. So now the issue of bias. It's no new that most of these AI algorithms they are predominantly on data from Western population, not our data sets here. We don't actually have accurate data. People that go to facilities, especially POCs, you will know how difficult it is to retrieve, for instance, consumption data of commodities. It will be difficult for you to determine whether like malaria and so on. So that is actually a challenge for us, even without this bias. And then, secondly, this bias also leads to consequences, because people have different genetics, they have different living environments, so you cannot say that diagnosis are always the same and it's not across. So that generalization, is usually an issue. Secondly, the issue of privacy. It's good to know that Nigeria Data Protection Act 2020 established a framework for data protection, and it requires that data is explicitly classified as sensitive personal data. So the high tier protection requires explicit informed consent before collection, processing, or sharing needs to be done. So this needs to be complied with when deploying AI systems, because you need to ensure compliance that data storage locations, you know about them, and importantly, confirm patient consent, and whether the person building your AI is conforming with NPDD obligations. Then the issue of accountability: who answers when AI errs? When AI-assisted recommendation leads to patient harm, accountability becomes complex, but it needs to be stated clearly that the pharmacist is the one accountable, not AI. AI is just your sparring partner. AI is just something that enables you to to maximize your time, to be more efficient, and to be better informed. But AI cannot be held accountable. AI cannot be sued. AI cannot appear in court or any tribunal. Fourthly, the issue of equity. So even if deploying these AI tools, there is already a major divide between urban and rural areas. We're disproportionately blessed. The urban centers have, for instance, secondary healthcare facilities and tertiary health institutions, equipped with computers, equipped with internet, and all these AI tools. But what happens to the primary healthcare at the rural areas? So how will this gap be closed? Is another question that we need to answer. The issue of the scaling risks. We have already briefly discussed how AI will not replace you, but how someone using AI can replace you who is not using AI. So, but it's good also to say that over-reliance on these tools, we risk gradual erosion of core pharmacists' competence and clinical reasoning. That is why we need to uphold our judgment. We need to train more pharmacists in reasoning, in making judgments, and in thinking as well. So the solution could be the use of AI as an augmentation tool, I have said this earlier, and not a replacement for judgment. So before deploying AI, because it's an AI era, many companies will just move into AI. I copied this picture from LinkedIn. This is a company whose employee wants to deploy AI, but once they asked, do they fix the data? They said no. And then what do they want to use AI for? They don't know, but they just want to use AI. I've had a similar experience just in the last where I worked on deploy AI. I kept asking AI for what? When I pressurized them, they say, okay, they will do an assessment and know where there's the AI. So it's not just that the time is there, but you need to know what to use this AI for. So everyone has adopted AI, probably because of fear of losing out. Research conducted shows that 88% of people had AI, but 66% of them actually. Sorry, I can't read it from here. The background is so we need to go through these 5 questions before we deploy AI. Validated conditions like mine. We've seen how these models are built on European and South African or North African clients. And where will the data go if we keep storing this data? Where will it go? So you to know that the data that we generate from health facilities, Nigeria don't own that repository. It's owned by a university in the US. Nigeria doesn't have a national repository where you keep their patient data, patient visitation, and DHI is 21 that we currently use. And then can we explain and defend its recommendation champion for AI in pharmacy? So the charge for each one for our teachers and for our faculty is to try to put AI literacy inside the curriculum and not beside it, and latest Nigerian validation. I don't know how far this has gone. I know there are education. NUC was even talking about that some time ago, but I don't know how far that has gone with. And to practitioners, we can begin to pilot tools, explore how this can make our work very efficient, how it can make us serve the patient better, and how we can win the war against scientific medicines. And then to students,
The state, ably represented by Dr. Ebun Boniri, who also doubles the Association of League Pharmacists in Kabiru State. It's very good. 2 minutes, please.
Thank you very much, Doctor. All protocols due observed. I would like to acknowledge the presence of the chairman of the day. It's a great honor that I'm standing here today to give this goodwill message on behalf of the chairman of Kaduna State, FPSN Kaduna. Yes, it's really a great privilege having this PS Wali 12th lecture. He was the pioneer chairman of FPSN Kaduna State, and we definitely have no choice but definitely be part of this. He's actually done a lot and laid a very good foundation. And I would like to say well done to the chairman of the committee, my own teacher, Professor Itimora. Well done, sir. And every other member of the committee also being teachers at one point or the other. I congratulate you on this. It's my honor and great privilege to represent the chairman of the FPSN Kaduna State Chapter on this 12th annual public lecture and the celebration of late Pharm, Mallam, Wali PSN. On behalf of the chairman and the entire PSN Kaduna, I congratulate the DS Wali Project Committee for sustaining this laudable initiative over the past 12 years, which not only preserves the legacy of one of pharmacy's greatest icons, but also provides a platform for intellectual effort. My own classmate back in here. Congratulations,
Thank you very much. Thank you. I also want to call on the representative of the Commissioner, Ministry of Health, Kaduna State, who is Pharm Hajia Sanatu Ibrahim, Deputy Director, Ministry of Health, Kaduna, for the 2 minutes goodwill message. Thank you, ma'am, for having me.
She can stay there.
Good morning, good afternoon to you all. I'm Pharmacist Salamatu Ibrahim, BPS, Kaduna State Ministry Headquarters. I'm here to represent my Honorable Commissioner for Health, Kaduna State Ministry of Health, the Chairman of the occasion, and the Vice Chancellor of Ahmadu Bello University, guest lecturer. The guest lecturer, distinguished member of the DS Wali FPSN, good project, member of the academia, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon once again. It is my honor and privilege to represent the Honorable Commissioner for Health, Kaduna State Ministry of Health, at this distinguished public lecture and the celebration of the remarkable life and legacy of Mallam Suleiman Wali, FPSN. On behalf of Honorable Commissioner and the entire member of Ministry of Health, I congratulate the DS. Let us all recommit ourselves to the ideas he stood for. Humanity. I wish the participants fruitful deliberations. Pray that outcomes of this lecture will contribute meaningfully to the advancement of pharmacy practice and healthcare delivery. Thank you and God bless Kaduna Federal Republic of Nigeria and all of us.
Thank you very much. Permit me, I want to quickly recognize the representative of the Director Pharmaceutical Services, ABU Medical Center, which is in the person of pharmacist Wawata. Thank you very much for having you here. I also want to quickly recognize the presence of pharmacist Abdul Razak, a retired pharmacist from the ABU. So, now on the last keynote goodwill message from Professor Aminu Musa, Chairman, ABU National Pharmacists in Academia Association. Thank you.
Chairman of this lecture, the Vice Chancellor, Ahmadu University, the Chairman of the Wali Book Project, Professor Ichimura, my distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to start by congratulating the DSY Book Project Committee for sustaining this initiative that started about 13 years or so back in an attempt to immortalize the life of service that Pharmacist DSY led, and to also congratulate members of his family to witness such occasions so that they can feel pride in the kind of life that Pharmacist DSY led while they were alive. And from some of the accounts that Professor Bello gave today of his early interactions with Pharmacist DSY that helped shaping his own life. And you can see the kind of contributions that Professor Mora has been doing to the pharmacy profession as a pharmacist. And to know that a giant like him was touched in his early life of service in pharmacy by Pharmacist DSY goes to show a lot about the kind of life that Pharmacist DSY lived. And one of the takeaways I had from what Professor Mora said about his interactions after his passing, he could sustain it. And recently, we also saw how his whole life by the launch of his book. I hope that book committee will also institute a lecture series in his own honor, so that every year we celebrate. I would also like to congratulate the speaker, who, from his own lecture, alluded that I have continued to follow his life even after he left the faculty. He was my student. Let me also add to my gift. And by extension, since Professor Mora was my teacher, and my teacher also, so all the credit will also go to Professor Mora. But I have one thing that none of my teachers had. I was privileged to have interacted with the speaker even before he came to the pharmacy school. I was a student while he was in secondary school. And there's this refresher program that usually takes place in 21. While he was a boarding student in Zaria College, he would take permission from the boarding school, join us in the center where we do this refresher program every weekend to enhance himself. So right from then, I had what none of my teachers had. He was my first student before he became their student. So I take this pride. When I was a student here, if I was a student, every weekend I would go back home, I would engage our younger ones in this refresher program. And that was how I first met Professor Gulma. And we all said that we are all old boys of college, like my mentor also. So I congratulate you, and I take pride in the career progression of the speaker. I only wish we could retain you. We can't pay you as much as but you should come and give back to the faculty. Yeah? We can engage you. You advocated for inculcation of AI in our curriculum, where you can be of service to us. I would also like to thank the Vice Chancellor for his fellowship with pharmacy, for staying, for his humility, for staying all this while through the lecture. He has always identified with pharmacy, and I hope in the future when we also come along, he will continue to extend that kind of fellowship. Thank you very much.
And on behalf of the academic pharmacist here, National Association of Pharmacists in Academia, Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, we tell you we are with you 100%. Thank you very much, sir. Now we'll go quickly to the next item, question number 10. Item number 10, which is presentation of plates by the chairman of the occasion, who is the Vice Chancellor, Professor Ahmadu, to present this award to our guest speaker. Sir. Our guest speaker, sir, do you wish to stand on your feet? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It is my singular honor and privilege on behalf of the from DS Wali Book Project Committee to present this to Professor Kabiru Gulma as the guest speaker on the occasion of the 12th in the series of lectures in honor of the late pharmacist Kabiru Sulaiman Wali, FPSN, who spoke today on the topic Artificial Intelligence in Modern Pharmacy Practice, Transforming Practice, Reshaping Education, and Navigating Ethics, held today at the Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences, today, Thursday, 23rd July 2020. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Mr. Speaker, sir. Just like I said earlier, like a soothsayer, when I introduced the Vice Chancellor as a pharmacist, now it has come to play. Father here, the oldest pharmacist in the building, a former registrar of the Pharmacy Council of Nigeria, a former this, a former that, and a present grand patron and father to all pharmacists here in ABU. We're very thankful for the role you've played, sir. There is no other pharmacist in this hall that has what it takes to present this award to the Vice Chancellor, who is the newly inducted pharmacist without going through dispensing and farm care. Prof. Mora, may please rise on your feet as you present an award to the Vice Chancellor. Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. Thank you, sir. The Dean of Students, you may wish to join the Vice Chancellor. The Dean, Faculty of Pharmaceutical Science, you may wish to join the Vice Chancellor. Professor Hadiza.
Okay. My HOD, Professor Hadiza Maji. So at least clinical pharmacy is here. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, on behalf of the pharmacist Kabiru Sulaiman Wali Book Project Committee, this plaque is presented to you, Professor Adamu Ahmed, FNITB, RTP, FCID, the Vice Chancellor, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, is the chairman of the occasion on the occasion of the 12th in the series of the lectures in honor of the late pharmacist Kabiru Sulaiman Wali, FPSN, with topic Artificial Intelligence in Modern Pharmacy Practice, Transforming Practice, Reshaping Education, and Navigating Ethics. This 23rd July 2026, Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria.
Well, let me once again express my very sincere appreciations to the Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences and the organizing committee for inviting me to this event. Like Professor Mora said, it is just impossible for me to have been invited by pharmacy and I wouldn't show up. So I'd like to thank you very especially and to say that we expect to see more from the faculty. I can assure you that we will continue to provide all the needed support, so that we can advance the practice and training of pharmacy, not just the
Thank you, and I wish everyone a fruitful day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Just on the last lap of the race, we'll quickly receive a vote of thanks by the representative of the family, whom we're here to celebrate, and he's here with us. Thank you very much, sir. Let's hear from you very quickly, sir.
I think because of time, I would skip the protocols that have been repeated several times. Of course, recognize the Vice Chancellor and Professor Mora. And let me start with the Vice Chancellor. This story. I have 5 kids, 1 boy, 4 girls. And of course, all our aim was to have our association with ABU, even ourselves. When I started school, we wanted to come to SBS. We ended up with 3 credits. We ended up in cars, then we ended up in media, but where we are. So I was very particular about the growth of that boy, because 4 sisters. So I was thinking that those 6 sisters, particular about his growth. He came to ABU after 1 year. He was given a story he didn't like. He said it was going to change. I said, "You're going to lose." I said, "Yes." He went to enter, came back for because he wanted to do. 3 years into it, there was strike. So I hope there is no accuracy. I said, "Ask him, judge, not allow us to destroy this." I think you end up. Within 5 years, he did 3 years his degree and 5 years in masters. What did I pay for? I paid for time, with quality. Because I was thinking, is there anybody that guarantee that somebody will have his degree within that period of the system? So when I didn't attend ABU, I woke up as early as 4 to come to this place. My wife was asking me why was I that early to go kind of myself. I said, because today I'm going to attend ABU. So I was telling my brothers now, when I go out, I will tell them that I went to ABU. that they used to say that they went to Harvard. And anywhere you meet me, you remind me that we were ABU together. Okay, let me just quickly read this text because it has been prepared, and this is done in honor of our uncle, and by extension, the large family of the Wali Suleiman family in Kano. In some of the chairman of the occasion, the Vice Chancellor of Ahmadu University, Zaria, Professor Adam Ahmed, our distinguished guest lecturer, for delivering a thought-provoking and intellectually enriching lecture on artificial intelligence in modern pharmacy, transforming practice, reshaping education. I think this should be a department or a unit that would deal with artificial intelligence. Your scholarly presentation has deep ethical responsibilities associated with artificial intelligence in pharmacy. We are confident that today's lecture will stimulate further research, innovation, and professional discourse. Our sincere appreciation also goes to the Dean Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Professor Mohammed Grebo Magaji, this annual lecture series and provide an excellent platform for intellectual engagement in honor of our late father. When I say our late father, I mean all of us here. We deeply value your unwavering commitment to excellence and preservation of his legacy. We equally understand the effort of the Wali Book Project Committee, ably led by Professor Ahmed Jan Mora, OA, MNI, FPSN. Professor Mora, Professor Ibrahim, alongside Professor Ibrahim Yakasi, Professor Party. Well, you know, in the media, my media, when we say Party, as is the former Vice Chancellor. And like that. So we thank Pharmacy Ahmed Ghana, the Secretary, Pharmacy Aliu Jibrim, members of the planning committee, volunteers, sponsors, partners of the media, and everyone who worked tirelessly behind the scenes to make this program a memorable success. Your dedication could lecture, annual lecture fitting tribute of Madam Hero. At this juncture, permit me to express our profound gratitude and appreciation to Professor Ahmed Jamor, ON, MNI, FPSN, for instituting the annual pharmacy Dairu Suleiman Wali Prize for Best Graduate Ahmadu Bello University. Mr. Chairman, the award comprises of a commemorative plaque and a cash prize of 50,000 naira. More importantly, it is a remarkable demonstration of your enduring respect for the ideals, values, and legacy of our father, and our commitment to encouraging academic excellence and professionalism among future pharmacists. This occasion provides yet another pivotal opportunity for us as a family to publicly acknowledge this generous and soulful gesture. We thank you most sincerely for your kindness, generosity, and unwavering commitment to preserving the memory of pharmacy Baba Hero. Your support will continue to inspire generations of pharmacy students. You graduated in 78 and you are still here, so you are building a successor generation of legacy and integrity. At this juncture, Mr. Chairman, I will soon finish, but it's important I mention this. At this juncture, the family wishes to place on record our profound appreciation to our brother Mallam Suleiman Wali for his steadfast commitment to represent the family at the annual lecture and related even all these years. He has been the one coming, so he has been the peace. He has been so committed, but I'll explain why perhaps later. On behalf of the late Baba Hero Wali and indeed the entire Suleiman Wali family, we sincerely thank him for fully sustaining the close relationship and enduring bond with the Professor Ahmed Jamor. His consistency, dedication, and deep sense of family have assured that this important relationship has remained vibrant and unbroken. His commitment is sadly surprising. Now this is it. Ali Salahuddin is both Zaria and Gulma. Having attended Bariwa College and Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, before spending the greater part of his distinguished professional career in Kaduna. He became an integral part of the social and professional fabric of this. These enduring associations enable him to relate effortlessly with the principles, the personalities, and institutions connected with this annual lecture, making him a worthy and dependable ambassador of the. We are immensely grateful for his unwavering service and pray that Almighty Allah continues to bless and reward him abundantly. Our beloved Father devoted his entire life to professional excellence, integrity, discipline, humility, selfless service, and humanity, and the advancement of pharmaceutical practice in Nigeria. It was Anna's hope that this annual lecture will continue to inspire present and future generations of pharmacists to uphold these noble ideals while embracing innovation with wisdom, professionalism, and ethical responsibility. Finally, as I conclude, we once again express our profound appreciation to everyone who has contributed to the success of this lecture. We remain grateful to our friendship, for your friendship, encouragement, and commitment to preserving the enduring legacy of Baba Hero. We wish you safe journeys back to your respective destinations and every success in your endeavors. But I want to just reiterate the what do you want Professor Mora to prove again? That something is not being done or should not be done for him. And this is that if there is anything to be proven, it is my considered view that he has proven it in the university. It's not for this faculty, it's not for education, it's not for mentorship. I think there is need to do perhaps a committee. We shouldn't want to wait until we go. You know, we are building generations, we are building successes, we are mentoring. So it's not after we have left that people should appreciate. You know, I think he has put in enough. 76, 78. So that when Okay, I will not tell my age. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We had wished you told us your age, sir. Okay, permit me quickly call on Dr. Bonire Ebon to give us a closing prayer by reciting the second stanza of the national anthem. Thank you.
Thank you very much. There could actually be no prayer we will have to pray today than the second stanza of the former anthem. Please, I'll just, many of us that know it, I'd like to beg our indulgence. We are praying to God. If we could please be on our feet. Thank you very much. It's, oh God of creation, one, two. Oh God of creation, guide our noble cause, guide our leaders right, help our youth the truth to know, in love and honesty to grow, and living just and true. Great lofty heights attain, to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign. Amen.
May we have a nation where peace and justice shall reign. Thank you very much. We want to request from the company, sir, that you grant us the privilege of snapping with the family of the late DS Wali. Please, representatives, family members of the late DS Wali, please step forward for a picture with the Vice Chancellor. Family members, all people should please remain where they are. No movements until the